The views and opinions expressed by guests and/or comments are those of the persons who submitted them and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of In the Clutch Sports Talk and More podcast. Any content provided by guests are of their opinion and are not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company of any individual or anyone or anything.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down. I'm too fly. This is my time. Ready to shine. Brighter than all of the lights. Cause when it's game time, seconds away and the game's on the line. There ain't no doubt in my mind. Beating the buzzer like this is my time.
Welcome to In the Clutch Sports Talk and More podcast. I am your host, D. Early. I am joined by my compadre, M. Clear.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in this beautiful world.
Unfortunately, people, we're missing T. Will today, but we're going to try to hold down the fort without him. Today, we will be talking with the lovely wife of M. Clear. We've had two wonderful interviews with his son, Cameron and Caleb, and we wanted to finish off this series with the matriarch of the family, the person that holds everything together, the person that keeps M. Clear in check, the person that we admire.
I have to say a word.
Without further ado, let's welcome to the screen Miss Angeline Clear.
Hi, everybody. How are you?
How are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good. I'm good.
First off, I just want to say you have two remarkable sons. They are more than we expected from the interviews, and we had to bring you on to finish up this series. Everything always centered around both you and Mike when we did the interview. So I just want to make sure you knew that.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. First, Mike, you want to start off saying anything before she?
Absolutely not. You're doing a wonderful job, my co-host.
Well, give us just a brief bio so we can kind of put all these pieces together. How this whole family thing works out.
Okay. I was born and raised in Mississippi, actually Oxford. I am an only child. However, I grew up with my aunts and uncles. So basically, I started playing basketball just by playing in the neighborhood with all the guys and girls and things. So, and I just drew a love for the game of basketball, although I played other sports as well. But basketball is my sport.
So you played at the University of Memphis, right?
I did. I graduated high school from Oxford High School in 1987. I went to University of Memphis and played from 1987 to 91. I graduated with a bachelor's degree in August of 1991.
Oh, okay. So you came here and played basketball, and you love the city so much you end up staying here?
Well, actually, my grandparents raised me, but my mom was in Memphis. Funny story. When I was a baby, my grandmother told my mom, "You think you grown? You can go on, but you ain't taking that baby with you. That baby was me." So my grandparents raised me, but my mom was in Memphis, so I was just eager to come to Memphis to be closer to my mom. So that's what made me choose Memphis State.
Oh, okay. Memphis State.
Yeah.
I ain't heard that in a while.
I know, that's
University of
old
Memphis.
school right there. Memphis State University.
Okay, now Mike told me we don't want to get too personal. We want to get on, but
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said it. But I
Oh.
would like to know how you guys met. So we're gonna put this whole family thing together.
Okay. We met at Memphis State. me and my teammates were in the gym conditioning or whatever, and Mr. Clear falls up in the gym, and we're looking at each other, and I'm looking at him, he's looking at me. So we kind of exchanged words a little bit and just really hit it off from there. So we met in, when did we meet? 91, yeah. After I close to graduation or whatever. He kept hanging out with Chuck, and who else were you with, Michael? So that's where we met at Memphis State, in the gym.
Oh, so no wonder he has an affinity for the University of Memphis and the campus and the coaching staff and all of that good stuff.
I
Absolutely.
guess so.
Absolutely. I spent my whole entire everything over there. Everybody I knew was over there. He was over there. Everybody we knew there was at Memphis. So it was just a great hangout spot for us. And yeah, you know, that's kind of how the story went. But that story was really pre-planned. She just didn't know that. So
Oh my God.
that was a pre-planned story because a good friend of mine was dating her friend. So that was kind of pre-planned. We kind of knew that, but then she ain't never know that.
I didn't have a clue. No.
She never knew that was pre-planned, but that was pre-planned to meet up like that.
Oh, that was a good setup then.
Yeah, it was. That's why I
And
tried to
here
tell
we
you
are,
before this show.
30
I
years
know
later,
you.
still together. Oh, I'm sorry.
It
30
was,
ooh.
girl. It was.
30 years, that's a blessing, and I want to congratulate y'all on that. Look, I'm big on marriage, and I'm big on couples staying together and all of that, and for you guys to be together 30 years, and well, actually more than 30 years, but to be together for so long, and to have raised two beautiful young men, who both are doing positive things. I mean, I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
So this sounds like more matters of the heart than in the Clutch Sports Talk.
This in the Clutch Sports, girl. Keep it at that.
Keep it
In the Clutch Sports. We're not doing Tuesday night interviews of the matter of the heart.
Hey, we might have to.
We're sports parents and sports people.
Yeah, but it's still a little story in there. We might have to bring y'all on. Might have to bring y'all on a Tuesday night so the people can see.
Oh my God, please.
Well, I say this, Daryl. I get that all the time, man. Kim 32, and so you know, man, 32 years with her, and you know, people ask that question all the time. How you been that married that long and this?
They probably asking her. They probably asking her more than they asking you.
They may be.
I get it a lot as well.
I get it because they trying to figure out what's wrong with their male counterpart.
Hey, I know you personally, Mike. I know you're a good dude. So we joke with you a lot, but deep down, I know you're a good guy. You a family man. So hey, it's all good. It's all good.
We just do what we do, Darryl.
That's it. So let's jump into some of the questions that we ask the kids, the sons. Now we talked about this before the show. You played basketball. We know Mike for playing basketball, and although they say he was a better football player than basketball player, but having two parents that played basketball, even on collegiate level and all of that, how did the two sons end up football?
Well, they started out playing basketball, and Michael suggested starting with Cam. He suggested, well, you have a better shot at playing college and pro if you go football, if you go that route, because there's a lot more spots in football than it is basketball. Although Cam, he really actually loved basketball as well. But and Caleb just kind of followed in the path.
Yeah, and I asked Cam, I said, Cam, you 6'5", 235, 240 in high school. That sound more. I mean, it could be a football player, but from the numbers I was seeing in basketball, he seemed like, I don't know, Mike. I guess you made the right decision. Well, you helped him make the right decision to go
You just gotta
football.
understand how the game done changed. The 6'5" power forwards is no longer in the game no more. You know, now to say he wouldn't have been able to make it, I wouldn't say that. I mean, if you look at Broom, you know what I'm saying, at Auburn,
Yeah.
I mean, he's a great collegiate player, but you know, do we really believe that's gonna translate into the, you know, him doing that in the league? I don't know. We'll have to see, but very rarely do that happen. You know what I'm saying? At 6'5", 280, and you can run, jump, and catch a football, I can pretty much guarantee you're gonna go somewhere. So
Yeah, but by the same token, I'm looking at 6'5", 2 whatever, agile, can shoot. You know, mom and dad play basketball, so you getting tips from both sides. Man, come on.
And from a dad standpoint, I'm looking at 6'5" Jonathan Algernon making $200 million, and he's playing less games and it's more spots. So I was looking at it from a total different aspect than how you were looking at it. And so, you know, he got a chance to experience a little of that, and he understands, and he'll tell you. And he told you in a little bit that he understood. You know what I'm saying? Could he have been a basketball player there? Man, my kids was athletes. They could have really, if they put their mind to it, they could have played whatever they wanted to play.
Could have played whatever they wanted to.
You know, you just had to try to guide them into, if you the number one player in the state of Tennessee in football, why would you want to go and play basketball and you're not even on the radar? That's like going backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but he wasn't on the radar because he concentrated on football, not basketball. Like you just said, if he would have concentrated on basketball, he might have been one of the top players.
Well, he would have had to.
I don't know. Go ahead, Lee.
He would have had to work on his ball handling and a lot more skills versus because in high school he was big and tall, and you can't teach that. So he would have to be more versatile as far as being able to handle the ball, things like that, and be a better shooter. He wasn't a great shooter. However, he could go get you 10, 12 boards easily and with the putbacks.
Well, that's all we do. Hey, play your role. So
exactly.
So let me ask you this. And we know Michael Clear was one of the leading scorers in the city, probably one of the leading scorers in Treadwell basketball history. I don't know how many total points he had, but if Terry's research is correct, he had in 5 years of playing high school basketball, he had 5 assists. So he was averaging 1 assist per year. Now you, ma'am.
Absolutely.
Now you, man, were you a versatile player, or were you just a scorer that never saw a shot you didn't like?
You know what? I didn't love to shoot a whole lot. I was a rebounder. I was more of a board person. If I recall correctly, I think I averaged about 19 points though, 19 and 10. So I did pretty good scoring wise. And that came up from offensive rebounds with the stick back, like I said. But I was I consider myself a dog, if you will, on the basketball court.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look,
I was
19 and 10.
I was mean.
19 and 10 is good on any platform.
Well, yeah, that was in high school, but in college, like I was more of a role player. I wasn't a Regina Street, Leonard Street, and all those ladies. But however, I learned to play my role, and I did what I had to do.
You ain't mind passing the ball, right?
No, not at all.
Okay.
So where are you trying to get to with that, Terry?
Terry
Jr., where are you trying to go with it? I'm not even gonna call you Daryl on that question. Where are you trying to go with it?
Hey, like
I'm gonna say this again, and I'm gonna say it to the people out there that's looking at this video and all of that, this podcast. It's hard to pass the people that cannot score. So, I mean, my coach told me get it and shoot it, and that's what I did, ladies and gentlemen. So, if the assist count is low, it wasn't because I couldn't pass it, because I was told not to. So, Appreciate it. I want to clarify that. I
Okay.
want
Oh,
people
and
to think
speaking of that,
it
let me
was-
tell you a little bit about myself. And speaking of that, passing the ball, my freshman year at Memphis State, Rhonda Lauderdale was our point guard, and she was like, "Angeline, you ain't got no hands. I ain't pass you the ball no more. I ain't pass you the ball." So my hands weren't that great, so that's why I had to get my points off the board, get some offensive rebounds and things like that.
Well, see, that's all part of it. Know your
Oh
role.
yeah, it is. It is.
No, you roll. That was
And,
my
and,
role to
Yeah.
shoot.
and I think sometimes the kids of these days, shooting is, especially with Steph Curry shooting deep threes and all of that, people kind of lose focus of the little things, the rebound and the blocking out and all the stuff that really would, help you win. They don't concentrate on that. They just, if I can shoot, that's what I want to do, and I don't want to do nothing else. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up.
The game done changed there.
No, yeah, it's definitely no change. Now, I know both sons, Cam and Caleb, said the same thing. Said that y'all didn't really push them to any school in particular, and they kind of made up their own mind. What was it? No. Cam said that he did want to go. Was it Cam that said he wanted to go to the University of Memphis? They was on the list, possibly.
Yeah, well, his thing was he did want them to recruit him, and he was seriously gonna look at him because of the hometown and because his mama played at Memphis. So I know that was a shock to y'all there, but that was a true statement. I mean, had they recruited him like they should have, he may have chosen Memphis. I believe because he had a couple of players over there that he ran with. So it wasn't like he didn't know what was going on in Memphis. It's to me, I don't think they recruited him because I don't think they thought they had a chance to get it. So they didn't really go all out. You know what I'm saying? They didn't go all out. But in his defense, we took Auburn off the list, man, to go over there for official visit for that. Literally.
Okay. So Mom, did you kind of want him to, or want either one of them to go to Memphis because that's your alma mater?
You know what? No. I wanted them to choose a school. I wanted them to choose a school where they would be comfortable, where they would be happy. Because if they go somewhere that they don't want to be there, they're not going to be successful. That's the bottom line. That was my thing. Go where you want to go, where you feel comfortable, where you can make the best out of that, and it'll be your decision. Not mom, not dad. It's your decision. Because if we want you to go to Memphis and you're not happy there, you're not going to be successful. For one, that's not where you wanted to go. So we let them choose where they wanted to go to school, and that was the best thing for us.
So even with not trying to push them toward one particular school or not, when y'all had like all of 5 or 6 different offers on the table, how did y'all kind of not try to manipulate, but how did y'all try to weigh it out to them that, hey, Duke is offering this, hey, Tennessee is offering this, hey, Alabama is offering this? How did that work as a family? As far as I know, as parents, we always want to try to have some type of influence on them because kids just don't know. So how was that? How did y'all formulate a plan to say, okay, well, here's the list of schools, Cam, here's the list of schools, Caleb. This is what we think, but ultimately it's left up to you.
You want to start?
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna let you take that. Basically, I believe we did sit down with both of them and kind of went through ways, options, and everything. But I kind of took a back seat and allowed my husband to really take over, so to speak. But at the end, they did make their own decision as to where they chose to go. Mike, pick up.
Now there was more because I've been around Chuck and them and all of them, and I've watched this, you know what I mean, go on. I understood it was gonna be your decision, but you had to understand when you make this decision, this can happen. You know what I mean? So just lay it out, give him all the pros and cons from my standpoint, my research, you know, talking to the coaches, just really getting a feel for the universities and just letting them know, man, you know, this is what's out here. This is what you have. These are your last 5. You know what I mean? All of them are great. You know what I mean? You really, it's what you do where you are. You know what I'm saying? So where you feel comfortable, pretty much is where you're gonna be successful. You know what I'm saying? So those are my advice, man. Lay it out. They've already given you out. No one school got no more than the other. That's the thing I try to get across to kids now. Alabama don't really have more than Tennessee. If you go to Tennessee campus and look at their facilities and you look at Alabama, they almost pretty much the same. You may have a few things here and there that's the latest, like Duke had the bipod before anybody had it. Now every school got it. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't that. It was just, you know, where you can get a good education, man, where you can build resources. And man, this thing is a more of a 60-year deal than a 5 or 6 year deal. You gotta look, where can you be in 40 years from now with Tennessee versus Alabama versus Duke? You know what I'm saying? But in the end, it was ultimately his decision, and I kind of knew he was going to Tennessee. So,
well, I know one school that you probably spoke against. I don't know if you know this or not. You know, we put a reel out, and I just put it out. I didn't put it out for any expectations or anything. The reel where you were talking about the most racist place you ever visited with them.
I don't care. I'd never go there.
And
I'd never go back there. That's the experience. There go my wife. You can ask about her experience, but my experience in Norman, Oklahoma, I would never go back there. Not mine.
That reel is that almost 2,000 views.
Wow.
So whatever you said, people chimed in on it, and maybe you were on to something. I don't know.
It was just, man, listen, for us, you know what I'm saying, to even get Oklahoma, this Cam's second recruitment, you know what I'm saying? So he on the second part of his recruitment. You know, of course, he went to Tennessee, and then we had the mishap, and then he on his second now big time recruiting circuit. So when Oklahoma called, you know, they didn't come around the first time, and we grew up looking at Billy Sims them at Oklahoma. And so you excited about going to the University of Oklahoma campus, you know what I'm saying? Because I grew up watching them. Dude, we hit that town, man, I promise I've never felt like nothing. Like I've never felt like I was nothing in my life until I hit that city, man. I felt like literally I was nothing. Like, man, who you supposed to be? I don't care nothing about your son. Like, I'm like, oh, hell. Oh, no. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no racist dude, but I'm like, we coming down, me and my wife coming down to get something to eat. Man, folks looking at us like, yeah, y'all doing it here. You know, like, we felt like y'all are not wanted here. And so I was like, man, look, I tell you what, the game was Saturday, there. This is facts, man. My wife right here. The game was Saturday, man. We get there. They start the day off wrong. My Friday already was screwed up, you know what I'm saying, with all the stuff that went on. Then I said, okay, let me give it a day. We spend the night, the game the next day, we're going to the game. We get there, they tell me, well, I can say it now. I couldn't see it. Man, you know you got to pay for Caleb. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, pay for Caleb to do what? You know, like, yeah, you know, it's against the NCAA rules, you know, for us to pay for Caleb meal.
Oh, because he was coming along on the trip with y'all, right?
Because he was coming along on the trip. Back then, you couldn't take but just me and my wife. A third party, it was against the rules. And so I'm like, man, I know how this go. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna pay you, but I mean, can we get him in the door? Well, we gotta have it paid up. I'm talking about just really. So I called the coach. I was like, hey, coach, I done been on a lot of visits, man, but all of this, man, this is just not adding up to me, man. Now they telling me, man, I gotta buy a ticket for my son. I gotta do this, man. Y'all should have told me all this up front. So at that moment, they finna kick out. They finally got Caleb a ticket. When I told him, man, I'm just finna roll, forget it. So me and my wife just thought about it. I said, man, I'm gonna stay a half, man, and see, cause if this thing don't act right after the half, I promise to God, I'm out of here. I only think I made it through the first quarter. Man, come on, let's roll. Man, me and my wife and Caleb got on the highway. They were looking for us. Cam was calling us, dude. They were looking for us. I think I was in, man, I probably was in what part of it right there outside Arkansas. I probably was in Bahia somewhere. I don't know where I was. I was coming out of St. Louis somewhere, but I got up out of there. Cam calling me. I said, man, look, you got to have them fly you back to Arizona. And man, I'll talk to you later. And son, if you sign with the University of Oklahoma, I can guarantee your dad would never be a nail game that you played. I'm just gonna tell you. I don't know what your mama gonna do, but your dad will not be at not one game that you played. The way they treated us.
Look, they up there treating Cam like royalty. He like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, but they treating us like we some garbage. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, no, man. My son ain't no meat market, man. You just ain't gonna get him and exclude us. No, that ain't how that work. You know. Right. So, but it was a valuable lesson for me, Daryl, because now, man, when I deal with these young kids, man, and their parents, and they're getting ready to be recruited, and you get a chance to give them your experience, man, and talk to them about things that go on. You know, it blows them away. You know what I'm saying? But you're able to teach them. You know, so that's the beauty. The beauty I got out of it. I could take it now and talk about it. But I was steaming hot. I've never been in as many cities I've been in that everybody quote unquote say is racist. I've never been in one like that. That kind of blew me away, man. For real.
Oh, okay. I look. I can understand that. So. Once they did decide, I know with Cam going to Tennessee, that's kind of like one of them, okay, we made it type of moments and this and that. And then, but when Caleb decided to go to the Naval Academy, did y'all have any like sort of reservations about, military service or anything like that? We talking to you, Mom. We know what M. Clear don't say it on the subject. Well, how did you feel about it?
I was apprehensive at first because it's so far away. But I'm like, hey, if that's what he chooses, we'll get there. If we need to get there, we're gonna get there. Hook or crook, we're gonna get there. So that was the biggest thing for me was the distance. But it all worked out though.
And I'm sure it was easy. Well, Caleb even said by him going through the process with Cam, it kind of made it easier for him. Did you feel like it was easier for you guys as well?
Most definitely, yes, most definitely. Mm-hmm. Okay. And by Caleb having gone through with Cam, he was able to see firsthand how it works, and when it was his turn, it was pretty much easy peasy.
That's what I'm talking about. I get it.
When you can sit there, Daryl, and you a lot of when you can sit there and you watch your brother go through the good and the bad, you got to be really something wrong with you not to understand what road you have to take if you're serious about this. You know what I mean? Because you've seen it all. You've sat in all the coaches. So can a high school coach tell you, which we had one, we'll get another show, but we had one try to tell my child about, what the college coach is going to say. And I'm constantly telling him, Coach, you can't really say that because he sat in Nick Saban's office listening to Nick Saban talk to his brother about the expectations, what it's going to take to be a Crimson Tide, Alabama Crimson Tide player. So you really telling him something that's false, and they would do that. And Caleb couldn't comprehend that because he was like, man, he'll come home and tell me, damn, why dude saying that? That ain't what Coach Saban said. You know what I'm saying? Because he already done heard it. He know the pitch. So for me, it was easy though. I mean, Caleb knew what he wanted to do. He just didn't know what school or how. And then he had that road at Central kind of was bumpy. So when I transferred him to Cordova, he kind of already knew, man, I just got to pick the right school that can get me where I'm trying to go maybe 20 years from now. He already had it in his mind. So when the Naval Academy came and called him, to be honest with you, I think I told you this when Caleb was interviewed. You know that's where he wanted to go, to your school. Oh, if they'd offered that boy in the 8th grade, he'd have committed at Duke. I promise to God on my mother grade, he'd have committed to Duke.
Hey, Duke is
He'd have
Duke.
committed to Duke if they'd offered them any time of the year. He would have committed to Duke. All they had to do was say they wanted. So he was always in the academics.
It's a nice campus. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's a nice
is.
campus.
Beautiful campus.
Yes, it's beautiful. I loved it. I mean, I was already a Duke fan before I joined the military and went to North Carolina, but to actually get to go on, oh man,
on the campus.
Yeah, man, it's just, I was like, oh my goodness, this is, I like this.
Wow.
But we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, I got a couple more follow-up questions, and then we'll get into some refereeing. I ain't have my whistle, but we'll get into some refereeing.
Yo, whistle.
Are you in need of a trusted notary to legalize your important documents? Look no further than Terry Williams Notary Services. Whether it's affidavits, real estate documents, business agreements, or binding marriage certificates, you sign it, he'll seal it. With a commission in the state of Tennessee, he provides reliable, accurate, and professional notary service. For fast, friendly, and professional service, contact Terry Williams Notary Services today. Call 901-503-0564 or email twilliams7296@gmail.com.
Yeah, that's our co-host. He's not with us today, but I'm still going to run his commercial as if he was here. Terry Williams Notary Service. You can reach him at 901-503-0564 or twilliams7296@gmail.com. And he is commissioned in Tennessee. Okay, let me get back.
Stop it.
Okay. Now, kids are grown, out the house, living their own lives now. How much input do y'all have on what they do now?
Zero.
This is a personal question for me too. Zero.
You said
Not much.
I got zero.
No.
A lot of times more Caleb than Cam. If he calls and asks me a life question, I'll give him my take on that. But for the most part, not a whole lot, and that's fine because we've raised them, we've done our part, and they know what they have to do.
Yeah,
I
just sometimes with my kids and my oldest son, me and him finally, after years of kind of butting heads, we finally, he's older now, so he's starting to say, Dad, I understand what you were saying now. I wish I would have listened earlier. And I said, man, I'm never gonna tell y'all something wrong. So I don't even understand why it's even a question. And my oldest daughter, we was just having a little family group chat. My oldest daughter was like, Daddy, we just have to learn on our own, and that's just it. And I was like, you know what? I got you. And I've kind of been a little bit hands off with them lately. But yeah, and I know because both of them are working with kids, right? They're doing training, and is it training or what are they doing, Mike?
They doing training. They both working with they doing football, youth training, and leagues and stuff like that, developmental programs and leadership programs. So it's kind of a in the grand scheme of things, they run a development program for youth.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. And I know
it's holistic. they run a holistic. Let me make sure I put that in there because Cam is into the, we talked about that,
Right.
into the holistic living off of plant-based and that type of deal, and teaching that, and understanding what you're supposed to put in your body and all that. So it's a holistic type youth development program they're a part of.
Oh, okay. And Mike, you didn't give me the information about the refereeing.
We July we'll start the rollout in July on Whistleworks Referee Academy, and we'll definitely be on here coming and trying to recruit those younger people that want to understand and really learn how to become an official and do it in a safe and an environment where they can continue to learn, continue to grow, and at the same time continue to make a little money while they do it. You know what I'm saying? So we don't know where this will take them, but we're trying to give them a platform to do something. A lot of these kids out the sports, they still stuck. They don't know what they want to do. You know what I mean? So to keep them around the game, we're going to create something that can help them stay around the game. And then, at the same time, help the TSSAA and the rest of these organizations around the Mid-South, create better officials for our kids, because it's getting a little bit out of hand, because I know where this segment is about to go.
Well, I don't know. Hey, no, I don't know.
Yeah,
where
I know where it's going, because
No.
you got yelled at once before.
Well, no. I didn't get yelled at. I got looked at.
You got the stare of a yell.
By who?
You
What?
You got the stare of a yell, Daryl.
look. This was before. I didn't even know.
What?
I didn't know you was Mike's wife or none of that. I didn't know none of that. And I don't even remember. I can't even remember exactly where, which one of my daughters was playing or what. It either had to be it wasn't my oldest daughter, because that would have been back in Haiti.
I think it was Woodcow. I think it was Diana.
I don't think it was Diana, because I think I knew who your wife was. But anyway, I was at the game, and I thought my daughter got fouled, and I was like, "Damn, ref, you ain't see that?" And you gave me this look. When I said I was sitting in the stands nervous, I was like, "Oh, damn. Okay, I won't do that again."
Oh, wow.
She ain't say nothing, Mike. She just with a whistle in her mouth, she just looked at me and gave me that look like, "You better be quiet." And I ain't say nothing else the rest of the game. And
Oh, my God.
I'm trying to figure. I know later I don't know where we were somewhere, and somebody was like, "Yeah, that's Mike's wife," and I was like, "Mike who?" And she's like, "Michael Clear." I was like, "For real? Okay, no, I didn't know that." But I never forget that. That was like, and I'm normally the parent that just don't even say nothing in the crowd. I just just try to enjoy the game or whatever. But it was like to me, it seemed like it was I don't say a blatant foul, but it seemed like it was an obvious foul.
Oh, my goodness. What team was it? You got me thinking.
I keep wanting to. It couldn't have been Havenview. I don't think it was that far back. But if it was it probably was my youngest daughter, Diana. It probably was at either Ridge. It had to be Ridgeway Middle, because it was a while ago. It had to be Ridgeway Middle. Maybe, I don't know. It might have. I don't know. I just remember when I found out that you was Mike's wife. I was like, man, I hope she looked at him like she looked at me.
All the time. I get it every day. You just got it once. I get it all the time.
It only took one time.
Oh, my goodness.
It only took one time. But
I'm glad you said that, Daryl, because I've brought that up several times about how people, look, and they don't know that they looking at people like that. And I tell them all the time, why you looking at folks like that? It's a habit. She don't even know she
don't even know it.
It is a habit, because getting away from refereeing, people always tell me, "You look mean." So my facial expression is always pretty much like that, because I've been told several times, "Why are you looking so mean? What's wrong with you?" But I don't know. So,
But with that, I mean, that's like me. I could never be a referee. I'm too sensitive. I get too emotional out there because I beat myself up over, if somebody's
Bad call.
yeah,
Missed
that's
call.
bad. Yeah. So it just wasn't for me. Now I know through the course of you refereeing for many years, you ran into situations where people probably went a little too far or said some things. How do you handle that? Because it's just like players have a reputation. Like when you go to certain high schools or whatever, certain players have a reputation for maybe talking a lot to the referees. Y'all all know that. And it's the same way. Like the players know, oh damn, this referee, so I already know I can't reach in. They're gonna automatically call a foul. How do you handle that from game to game?
for one, as far as the gyms, I pretty much am very select as to the gyms that I go to nowadays. I've done this enough where certain schools I'm not going to even deal with because I just don't want to deal with the drama. Yeah. As far as I've been refereeing around about 30 years, and I've learned to have a lot more patience, and pretty much just keep myself. Don't look at it as a player. Look at it as you're officiating. Because sometimes our mind is not there. We're not focused, but we have to try to focus because we're to make that call.
Okay, let's walk through this. Let's say, okay, like, and I know y'all can't see everything, and you're not looking like me. I'm more or less. I'm watching the game, but I'm watching my daughter more so than I'm watching the game because I want to be able to come back and critique her and be like, hey, you should have did this and you didn't do this and or whatever. So let's just say you do miss a call. Let's just say it's like obvious that the girl got fouled or the whole crowd explode like, oh, what? I mean, now, do you come back and say, I know you would say, well, hey, I missed it, a bad call. Do you come back and you try to make up for it on the other end? Sometimes, maybe, no.
Well, it depends. If it's a foul and everybody in the gym sees it and my partner doesn't see it or I didn't see it, somebody needs to get that foul. I'll go out of my what they call primary coverage area to get that foul, because if it was that obvious, the whole crowd sees and everything, somebody needs to get that, because we're out there to do a job and we want to try to do the best that we can. Other situations, like coach say, my girl got fouled there. Coach, I missed it. I'm woman enough to say I missed it.
Okay.
I'll look at it a little closer. I'm not the official to say, oh, I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to hear all that. Because we all make mistakes. We get some calls right, we miss some. That's just part of the game. From Pee Wee all the way to the NBA. Well, people always complain about the official, but until you walk in those shoes of an official, I promise you, you will not know. It is a job. It is a tough job sometimes. Sometimes it's not even worth the money that we get.
I couldn't do it in practice. They had me, I should referee, do a little something in practice, when I was helping my daughters out and stuff. And I was like, oh, damn. It made me feel bad about all the times I said something about referees, because I was like, like you missed something, and then the players come on like, dang, coach, how you missed that? And I'm like, hey, I ain't see it. My bad. I was looking. I was looking over here when I should have been looking over here. So I get that. So no, it definitely ain't for me. No, it definitely ain't for me. I couldn't do it. But I admire people like yourself. I got a friend. I think he's in Wisconsin. I want to say he's in Wisconsin. Yeah, one of my former military friends, and he do basketball, baseball. Yeah. I just saw him doing I know he do basketball, but he do baseball too. So I'm like, man, ain't no way I would want to get into that field. But I know throughout the years, I know you were well respected as a referee because everybody always had pretty good things to say about you. They said you were pretty firm and fair. So we applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I just could never do it. It's nothing that I could ever do. It was something else I wanted to ask you about the refereeing. Oh man, it slipped my mind. See, this is why I should write all this stuff down. It was only 2 questions I had, but you got anything to add to that, Mike?
Well, let me ask the question because I ask this question all the time from a coach's standpoint. Explain to the people what's going through you guys' head when a coach question a call that they're disputing a call that no one has defined the definition of the call, if I'm pronouncing that right. For instance, the 5-second call is challenged all the time. Why is it so much inconsistency with the referees? What is your take on why is it so much inconsistency with the referees on certain calls? Because these are calls that happen every night. The 5-second call is one. The closely guarded call is one. And there's several others over the back, which is not a call, but what coaches say is a call over the back. Why is it such a big discrepancy when it comes to defining what, how to challenge those calls?
Well, one thing, the consistency part, it's extremely hard for even a crew to be consistent sometimes. Sometimes we're just not on the same page. And it's I'm sure it's very frustrating to coaches as well as sometimes players, because sometimes it's frustrating as officials. Sometimes we just not in sync that night for whatever reason. And you have to remember that we're referees for that night, but however, we may be thinking about something going on in our personal life. I know we shouldn't take that to the game with us. For me, refereeing is an outlet to get away from that stuff. But sometimes things you're just not there that night. What I try to do is I try to stay in my book, so I can be able to explain to coaches the actual rules. And I want to make sure that I'm doing my very best at that. I can't speak for other officials. I can't expect them to get in their books, but I'm going to do my very best because I want to be my best out there on that court.
That's a good answer. But okay, so
I'm sure I still didn't answer your question, but go ahead.
Well, kind of, sort of, you did. But Daryl asked me about the referee academy that we're creating and we're putting together and all that. And I asked that question because Daryl said something earlier. Well, man, I could never referee. I could never do that. And I beg the difference on that. I just think Daryl is looking at it from his perspective and how he sees what's going on. Do you think, I'm going to rephrase it. It ain't do you think, because that's why we're creating the referee academy. How do we get these officials who supposed to be certified officials? How do we continue to get them training outside of what you guys do? Like, what's a platform for those officials to get better, and how do we get them to buy into joining that platform?
Well, one, they want to get better. Some officials are doing it just for the money. I mean, you don't show any more interest. You don't work at your craft. So that's really, really hard. Um, when I'm out, I try to find younger officials who played the game, coming up graduation and things like that, and be eligible to referee. Try to get their interest there because for an example, we had a camp a few weeks ago in Mississippi, and this younger official, he recently graduated from DeSoto Central, and he came out refereeing, and he really, really is really working hard. This is his very first year. He's never officiated before, but I can see potential in him, and I told him to find 10 of his friends who are interested, because we're on the downhill of this thing. I mean, we're it's time for us to get off the court, to be honest. I may have about 10 more years in me, but it's time for us to move on. We need some younger officials who can take this thing over, because
She said 10. You got 10 more years in you. You
at
got some
least
more
10,
time.
yeah, I think so. So it's just gonna take an entire community of officials to try to, to get people to come out, get them interested, and train them the right way. And I'm all for that training the right way, because I was taught by Reuben Campbell. We used to play, we played softball. Me and some of the other ladies played softball for Reuben years ago. And he got me into officiating. He got me started, and he taught us the right way by the book. And it's instilled in us, and that's what we do. And then that's how I teach, by the book.
So is it okay? I know what you're trying to do, Mike, as far as a whole academy. Where is so is your training is like okay, I know you say you got a book that you read or whatever, but is it like how do you get into it, and do y'all have continual training on it?
Great question.
We've recently started some sessions, started sessions back up. We have few of the officials have a YouTube page that they do a lot of training, talk about the rules and game situations, things like that. So there is a training that's ongoing that is out there.
So let's just say me, if I decide, hey, I want to be a referee.
There you go.
Is there like where do I go to get my official striped shirt and whistle? Where would I go?
Okay. To get started, you would basically register with the TSSAA.
Okay.
That's a start. If you want to do pretty much anything as far as reg ball or something like that, or with the local association, Collin High School. But to be a referee is really easy. Register with the state, pay your money, and go to the meetings, and you get started. However, if you want to be better at it, there are some trainings that they have periodically through the local association. But what we're trying to do, Michael and I, we're trying to get this academy started, and that would be extensive training.
See, that's why I'm asking, because I'm looking at it and saying, okay, anybody can read the rule books and know a little bit about basketball and think that they can just go out there and, because I know, from looking at NBA referees and kind of, following up with them, like certain like if you on the, I don't know which one, baseline, or you this referee or you the back referee, it's certain stuff that you looking at specifically, right? That the other referee is looking, they're specifically looking at something based on the angles that they're on, right?
Yes, 3 officials, and everybody has a primary coverage area. I have my little area that I'm focusing on when I'm on the baseline. I'm not worried about anybody else. However, my peripheral vision, if I see something hard crash, I probably gonna ease over there and get it. But yeah, there's certain areas that you have to cover on the court.
Okay. So I got 4 more questions. I know I said I only had 2, but not as we talking, I came up with 4 more. But we're gonna take another quick commercial break, and when I come back, now I'm gonna give you these 2 right now, so you can kind of be ready to give me an answer. This step back shooting that they doing, is that a travel? And how do you feel about instant replay? We're gonna take this commercial break, so you think about those during the commercial break, and we'll be looking for an answer on the other end.
Okay.
Feeling sluggish? Struggling with recovery? Want to take your health to the next level? We have the game-changing peptides your body needs. Whether you're looking to boost energy, accelerate healing, lose weight, or optimize performance, we've got the cutting-edge solutions to help you feel unstoppable. Get extraordinary results with Shonuff Peptides for All. Call us at 731-420-5627 or email us at shownuffpeptidesforall@gmail.com. Shonuff Peptides for All products are strictly for research purposes only and are not intended for human or animal consumption. We do not provide medical advice or services. Please consult a qualified professional for any health-related concerns.
And I know nothing about those. I just helping my friend promote her business. Need any information, you'll have to contact her. But yeah, let's I feel this new step back, take 5 step, whatever. I mean, give me your take on that, because I think it's ruined the game.
Yeah, this step back thing, yeah, it's a travel to me. I'm a visual learner, so I would have to actually see it. But what you're talking about, yes, it's a travel.
So now, I mean, okay, like, I know they training for it, because I see it on these high school and AAUs when they be going. I be looking at little training stuff that they doing. They actually teaching them, and then the NBA gets away with it because now it's not 2 steps after you stop dribbling. It's 2 steps after your gather dribble. So basically, you get 3 steps in the NBA now. I guess, I don't know. It looked like a travel to me. So are you calling those travels, or I mean, do the coaches ask you about it? Do the players ask you about it? Like, hey, and in warm up, do it, and ask you, do you consider this traveling? Are you, or is it just not even an issue right now?
Right now it's not a big issue. What is a big issue? What has been, player catches a ball, they jump before they shoot. That's a travel. But it has not been called a whole lot. We're not consistent with it. But it's actually that's a travel.
When you hold on, say that again. Catch the ball.
They catch the ball, then they take their 2 steps, and then they shoot the ball. I guess before they get their feet together or whatever.
The jump stop 1-2.
That's what that is. The way we were taught.
You know how you jump stop, and then you take 1-2 after you jump stop. I've called that travel for years, but they say it's not
exactly.
travel. I'd say that's travel. You can't catch the ball, jump and stop, and then 1-2 and lay the ball up. That is travel. That's travel. That's been travel. That's been travel ever since I've been knowing it. But a lot of people talking about if you do it simultaneously. I don't care how you do it. If you jump and stop, and then you didn't change your pivot foot, you know what I'm saying? Well, they gonna say you didn't establish a pivot foot.
There you go. I was just about to say. They gonna say you didn't establish. Well, you don't get to take 1-2. If that's the case, whenever you throw me the ball, I don't never have to dribble. I can take 1-2 and shoot, right? If you said
I didn't establish a pivot foot, and I can take 2 steps after catching the ball and jump stopping, then I should be able to catch the ball whenever, 1-2, and shoot the ball without putting it on the floor. That
goes to a layup. If you a player catches the ball, they're running, they catch the ball, they catch 1, 2, and lay it up. So I'm gonna
That's
call
the
another
layup.
travel.
So if
Right,
it's
but it's
1,
not-
2 off the catch, then how do you catch jump stop 1, 2?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah. No,
You see
yeah,
what I'm saying? That ain't making
that's a-
sense
Yeah.
to me.
yeah, that's a
That ain't
travel.
making sense. You saying I
It's a
can catch
travel.
this ball, jump stop, then I can take 1, 2, and I can lay the ball up. But you're only saying on a layup, if I hit you coming off the wing, you can only catch the ball
Catching 1,
1,
2,
2, and lay the
and laying
ball
it
up.
up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's the yeah. From
You
what
know
I'm
what I mean? That's
see,
Yeah.
that's why I couldn't be no referee because
well, most.
But-
I'm gonna tell you what I think happens. There are most referees gonna go with whatever the consistent call is. If it's a consistent no call, they just ain't gonna call it.
And
And
that's
if
what's
all the
been happening.
referees start calling it, they'll call it. Not because they reading a book or nothing like that. It's just because I think they just really don't know how to make that call. College may make you let you get away with that. So they let them get away with it in high school. But when you go up towards East Tennessee, they not letting you get away with that. So it just becomes a headache because we allow our kids to get away with stuff like the carry. Man, these
Yeah.
kids carry the ball every time they dribble the ball. But a lot of referees, you cannot pounce this ball on the thing, shuffle your feet 2, 3 times, and then put this ball back on the thing. That is a travel all day. Long
that's
as your hand,
The carry.
that's a carry all day.
no,
But they're
that kind
doing
of
when the ball comes to
If
a
your hand
rest.
up under that basketball and you do
No, no,
anything
no.
and turn
No,
that
no.
over, that's a carry.
No. I'm saying I don't think you can count the feet because I could dribble and have the ball rotating in my hand, going up and take 2 or 3 steps. Now,
Going
to
up.
me,
Going up, not
Yeah.
dribbling that. You
Yeah.
talking about and go up. I'm talking about hesitation with this
She
ball
laughing.
hanging over here
she laughing
and
at me.
then putting it back on the floor. That's 2 different things.
No, no.
Than what you talking about. I get what you saying.
If you flip it over like this,
Yep.
yeah, that to me that's
That's
automatic.
a carry.
They
Well,
never,
all of them
they
dribble
never,
like that now.
all of them dribble
All
like
of them
that.
dribble
Now,
like
yeah,
that.
everybody. I mean, that's why I'm like, shit. If I could do that, I could dribble. I could be an NBA
Right.
point guard if I could do all of that.
That's why a lot of kids, that's why a lot of kids are scoring a lot of points in high school. They're able to do things with this basketball that ordinarily you don't get to do.
Yeah,
So
I
if I
agree,
can
yeah.
hang this ball out here and make this defender go at this ball and I can do my feet whatever, and then I can carry this ball all the way back. I done took 3 steps to the goal. Now I can carry this ball all the way around my back. Of course you're gonna lead that defender.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, as long as I don't turn the ball over, as long as I keep my hand on top of
On
it,
top
I
of the
think
ball, right.
I can take as many steps as I can get in.
Show me how. Hey,
I'm
show me how many dribbling the ball.
because I'm dribbling the I'm gonna get some little choppy steps in there, and then
You can
blah,
get
blah,
that.
blah. Yeah, but
You can get that.
but if I turn it over, yeah, that's
carry.
yeah, that's care. Yeah. The other question was like instant replay. I know they ain't got that in high school and all of that now, but I just hate it in the NBA because it's like after every play you seeing this, and it's
Yeah.
like, and now it should be a limit on it, which it is. It should be some penalty. Like I don't like when players do it and then you go back and look at the replay and you're like, man, you fouled the shit out of the dude. So what are you even talking about? That's the part that makes it bad for me. Now, end of the game, like I think toward the end of the game, it should be picked up a little more where you say, okay, because this is like the first 3 quarters, especially in the NBA, to me, those first 3 quarters really don't even matter. It's like we going through the motion to get to the 4th quarter. But all the calls in the fourth, and some people say no, the first call in the first quarter is important, just as important as the last call in the fourth, and I just don't agree with that. I just think once you get down to the end, everybody playing serious, everybody playing hard, and one missed call or one bad call could determine the outcome of which team wins or loses. So how do you feel about the instant replay?
I like the instant replay if it has a bearing on the game. If it's a deciding factor. Like you say, I agree with you on that in the fourth quarter, but first 3 quarters, they take too much time in replaying everything. They want to replay everything. But like fourth quarter, if it's a deciding factor, or whatever the case it may be, with foul or something happened in the game where it could affect the outcome of the game. But I wish they could put it in high school for certain things. Like I go back a few years ago, I think it was at BTW. BTW missed their opportunity to go to the state tournament because of out of bounds was not called. The ball was shot and it hit the supports, and no official called it, and that will say that cost them the game. They talk about that all the time. So certain situations like that, I think instant replay in high school, I think it's needed.
So, so just so we'll be clear on the rules, you talking about the backboard support, the railings? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. If it's a rectangle backboard, it cannot go over that backboard, nor can it hit like the pole that supports it.
Oh,
that's out of bounds.
Oh, okay. See,
that's out of bounds. Yes.
See, been playing ball all my life. Didn't know that. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You ain't never shoot it over the goal.
I ain't never have to. I was dunking it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You ain't never shoot over the goal, so you wouldn't have never caught that rule right there. Now.
No. Let me leave you alone, Mike.
I'm giving you some props, sir.
I know it. Officiating. Do you officiate men's games, right?
I used to.
You don't
like
anymore?
Grown men.
Well,
I don't do it anymore.
Like, okay.
Male, yes. High school boys, yes.
Do you like? Yes. I mean, well, hold on. Let me pull out my press my press badge now. Is there a reason why you don't like officiating men's basketball?
Yes, it is, and I'll tell you why. Men, these grown men that think they should have been in the NBA and think they were all that back in the day, they are so serious. They whine all the time from the tip to the end. They whine too much for me. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with it. Every call they want to question. Every call. And I just don't want to deal with it.
Now here's the question. Are they questioning it because you're a woman, or are they just questioning it, period? Because
I think so, because I'm a woman. Even with go ahead.
No, I was asking, but no, you go ahead. You feel like they question the call only because you're a woman. So if it was a man making that same call, you don't feel like they would be as
I've seen it happen before, even at the high school level when I do games, and we talk to the ladies. We say women have to be 10 times better just to be average. Because when they see a woman, a lot of times they think they can't referee. And a lot of times, some women, it's some women that can referee that can handle their business better than a man.
You know what? And I'm gonna be honest with you. Over my years of watching my daughters, and of course I'm watching the boys' games too. I'm gonna have to agree with you. I saw more consistent refereeing from the women than I did the men. That's just me being honest. I did see, and I don't know. I'm like, I don't know why that would be. Because I would think, women are more emotional than men, but yeah, I've seen more consistent female refereeing than male refereeing. Seems like the dudes kind of get more into their feelings faster or something,
Really? Because I've been told that before. Oh, she in her feelings. Da 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 da. She always calling a text. I can't cuss you out. I can't do nothing else. All I have is a technical file.
See, that would be me. See, that's what I'm saying. I couldn't do it because
I gotta use it.
Look, I'm handing T's out like free money. I'm handing.
I look at it different though. I see what you're saying. You 100% on cue. The problem with the men is that I know what I'm doing. Don't tell me what to do. The reason the women have a better, when y'all watch them and they call and they consistent, because they actually reading the book on the rules on what to call versus I'ma call what I want to call, man. Don't tell me what to do or say or whatever. That's the mentality of most of the male referees. They ain't reading no book because if you challenge them on the rule, they ain't gonna know the rule. So they get away with what? I got the power with the whistle. I talk about that all the time to referees. Just because you got that whistle in the mouth don't make you have no power because that whistle got to go down. And because you blowing it, there are people in these stands that looking at you maybe deliberately blowing whistles for no reason. And they don't take kindly to that. And I don't like it because it brings about the whole referee association get charged for what a few people do. You know what I'm saying? So the males they just male dominant. They just, man, you can't tell them nothing. You can't ask them nothing because they know everything. And even if you ask them about a call, they gonna pretty much tell you, well, man, I miss it. I'm gonna do what I want to do. So
there are some male officials. There are a lot of male officials who read their book, they get in the book, they know the rules, and they work hard at it. But you, like with anything else, you have some good, bad, average. But
well, let me ask you this: like, okay, do y'all kind of like get together? You know, I see y'all huddled up before the games and stuff. Are y'all like the saying like, okay, let's say, okay, let's say Easton Treadwell, we're gonna referee this game. Do y'all kind of say, hey, you know, this a heated rivalry. We might want to have a quick whistle starting the game off, and then we'll kind of let them, you know, keep the game under control, and then we'll kind of let them play second half. Do y'all kind of discuss stuff like that?
We do. Yes, we do. We talk about the teams. We talk about coaches. We know we got certain coaches. We know we got to be on our game because there's some coaches that know the rules now. You just ain't gonna tell them anything. And some coaches, if they ask you, certain coaches, if they ask you something, you probably missed it. So we do discuss teams and game situations. Like fourth quarter, if a team is down, we know the other team's gonna try to foul. We go ahead and say we're gonna get that first foul. We don't want to, you know, pass on the first foul because it's gonna escalate to something else. We may end up with a fight or something like that. So we try to do
Now you don't have to answer this next question. You can plead the fifth on this one. Do y'all ever come in the game and be like, man, if he say one word, I'm teeing him up right off the bat?
You know what? I'm not gonna plead the fifth. I do. But you know what? I've done it long enough. I'll tell the coach, I don't want to hear that shit tonight. I just tell them. They're like, all right, Miss Rev. But certain coaches, I have the rapport with them, and I'm telling them, I ain't for it tonight now. I don't want to hear it. Don't try to tell me what to call. You coach your team, and I'm gonna referee. That's how we're gonna do it tonight.
And I'm sure, just like with anything else, you have certain coaches that you probably enjoy refereeing their teams, and you have some that you know you really could do without refereeing against their team. So I can see that.
Yeah, one of my favorite coaches that I love Coach Tippett. Rest his soul. He was always Yes, White Station, then ECS. Yes, if he asked you a question, you probably missed it because he doesn't say a whole lot, and he knew the game, he knew the rules as well, along with a few other coaches. But
I heard, you know what? I heard, after he passed away, people, telling their stories, and I heard someone said the same thing you just said, something similar to that, and they also made the point that he was the same way in practices. Like he wasn't a yelling and cursing type of coach. He just it was just a calm demeanor about him that just got the job done some kind of
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
So what you saying? We were traumatized in practice.
I mean, I ain't gonna say I wasn't traumatized because I ain't really messed up too much. My grades were good. I knew how to follow directions. I did whatever Coach Curry asked me, or Coach Bivens, whatever coach I was
You
on.
were the nice athlete. You were the
Yeah,
nice.
I ain't gonna
You
give.
ain't
I ain't
never
gonna
get
give.
put out of practice
I ain't
and
gonna,
all that.
just like with my parents, I ain't gonna give you no reason to get mad at me and talk about some licks, and I ain't gonna give you no reason. I'll take it for the team, but no, not me specifically. No.
You gonna take one for the team?
Yeah, I'll take one for the team. We didn't do the suicides on time. Somebody was lagging, and we all got to pay the price. It's for the team. I'll take it. I got
I was just messing with you. I know I was traumatized. I couldn't take him for the team. I took him for the team every time he ran.
Well,
I ain't taking no more.
You was doing stuff to get it. Coming to the game late. Coming to the games late. Showing up in the fourth
30.
quarter.
I gave him 30.
Lord,
and it wasn't my fault that we came late. So he didn't get on Mr. Elliot Perry. He was driving. I always had it, and from day one, I had to take the brunt of all y'all. Even when you screwed up, he called me. So it didn't matter. You, Chuck, all y'all. He gonna call me complaining.
But you know what Coach said? You how not to be late?
What?
Don't leave the school.
That was his favorite word. Hey, that was his favorite saying. If you never left school, you would never been late. He said that all the time. So yeah, let me ask one last question about this referee because
I got one last question too, but go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Because I have a meeting I have to go to.
We have to let's talk about recruitment again because Daryl said something and you keep touching on something, but what we haven't touched on is how do we give these folks a platform, and what do you think we need to do to help the recruitment of new officials? What do we have to do to help the recruitment of new officials, and what do we have to do for the older official to give them a platform to get beyond where they are today? Let me put it that way in John.
The first question is how do we get new recruits?
What from your experience? We need more referees. We need better referees. You and I and our team putting together an academy and all that. But how do you go and get those officials if all the saying about officials, I don't want to be official because of this, because of that? What is a method from a referee, an official, which is yourself, 30-year veteran? What's your pitch to help us get and acquire these young up-and-coming athletes just graduated college to get them involved in being a referee, other than the money?
Other than the money. One thing, we just need to get out there and as we try to find officials, we need to let them know that it's a great experience to be around, to continue to be around the game if you love the game, as well as pretty good pay for the most part, lifelong friendships, keep you in shape as well if you work at it. Sometimes some officials they don't even run, but that's a whole nother story. But basically, we just have to try to get out there and just try to find people. Just try to encourage them. See if they are interested. If they are interested, let them come out and see what we have going on, and just let them take a stab at it.
You know what I think y'all should do? Y'all should grab these athletes that I don't want to say not college worthy, but grab these high school players that probably, love the sports, love playing football, love playing basketball, but in all reality, probably never get the opportunity to play college. And based on what she said, somebody love the game, get them in there to continue. They can't continue playing, but they can still be a part of the game. And to me, if you get them fresh out of high school, you can really you can mold them better than somebody who don't spend 4 years in college. Just something I'm thinking, but hey,
yeah, and believe it or not, some of these games that I've called high school, they try to referee a little bit. I'm like, how old are you? Okay, when you turn 18, we need some young officials. Since you want to try to referee, come on out. And I give them my number, tell them to come on out and give it a shot, because we need some younger officials. We really do.
And then you got to think
to learn, huh?
That's getting them into a trade that that they could eventually make a nice look. I don't know how much referees make or whatever. Y'all ain't got to disclose that, but that would be because everybody wants, either they going to college, they going to trade school, they going somewhere to make some money. So if you can get them doing something that they like, and I know it's plenty of opportunities to referee around the city of Memphis or surrounding areas. So that so we not only are we gonna train you, we already got you some job placements where you can make some money.
And that's part of, I'm glad you said that too, Daryl, because that's part of what Whistleworks Academy gonna separate themselves from everybody. We got already in-house jobs, man.
I need to be on the board of directors then, since I'm getting out all this good information. I got one last question. We're gonna let you get out of here because I know you gotta go. 30 years of refereeing, is it one situation that maybe you made a bad call or whatever that you regret to this day?
You know what? It's multiple ones that I do still regret. I've had a game where I should have given a technical foul, but I didn't, and I beat myself up over it. I should have given a technical foul. Shouldn't have let that ride. So it just depends, and even having been in it 30 years, I still have room to grow.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, to answer that question, yes, there's still calls that I regret that I didn't make or should have made, or vice versa. But if you want to keep doing this thing, you have to let it go and move on to the next, because it's gonna happen. It's just a part of it.
Yeah, I never shared. I don't think I ever shared this with Mike, but I had one regret playing high school basketball. We were playing East, and we were up by like 5, and Coach Curry put us in a stall. He was like, "We don't need to score. Let's go to a stall." And for some reason, I was on the wing, and they kicked me the ball. And when I looked toward the goal, it was wide open. And I was like, "Ooh, I'm finna dunk this. I'm finna bring the house down. The whole gym finna explode." And I went in strong, and Billy Smith came out of nowhere. And he just stood there. I couldn't dunk it because I could have. I don't know why. If I would have just dunked it, I don't believe they would have called. They ended up calling a charge. I made the layup, but they waved it off. Call a charge. They got the ball back. Somebody came down, and they eventually tied it up, went to overtime, and we lost. So I blame myself for that. But in my mind, clear. The whole gym was finna erupt, man. That's all I can think.
You finna tear the house down,
man. I'm finna tear the house down. I'm finna rip it off. I'm finna rip the rim off the backboard. That's and like I said, man, when I saw him closing in, I should have, I think I was past the point of no return at that point. But I think if I would have I should have just went on and tried to dunk it. And I don't think if I would have dunked it, I don't think they would have called a charge on it. I think they would have just let that go because the crowd. Yeah, but yeah, that's my one regret.
Wow.
Well, in officiating, I have multiple, so I can't even get into naming all these. You just,
I might have some more. The only other thing I regret is that Elliot Chuck asked me to come over to Treadwell to help him build something. And I didn't bring a state championship. We lost in the sub state. And I think if we would have got past that game, I think ain't no doubt in my mind, we would have won the state that year. So I regret that.
wow.
But that was a team effort. But I just feel like Chuck didn't have a good game. I didn't have a good game. So it was a team loss. But I still feel kind of responsible because I didn't bring that state championship for Elliot. But anyway, nice interview.
Well, thank you for having me.
I thoroughly enjoyed you. Mike, I can see why you've been with her for 30 years.
How did you get that out of that?
He sees that side. He didn't see
How
that
did you get that out of this
side.
interview?
Because I'm putting that look with the smile, and I'm like, yeah, she got you. You got the best of both worlds, buddy. You got the best of both worlds. But again, it was great. It was a great interview with you. It was a great interview with your kids, and if some kind of way we can get you guys back on. I told Mike, we can get the whole family on at one time. That'll be great too. But I know you got to go, so we're gonna close this thing out. But we appreciate you joining us and spending a little time with us.
I appreciate it.
And as soon as y'all get the academy going, just let me know, and we definitely gonna do, we gonna do something to help promote that for you guys.
Thank you so much. Again, thank you for having me. I
No
enjoyed
problem.
this video.
You got anything, Mike?
That is it, man. We in the clutch.
So we're gonna end this thing.